What's going on? What's going on? Is everybody here? Where are my students? Where are you, my students? Hello. 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 Where are you, my students? Hello. Who's here? Gio, hello Gio. Welcome to our Friday class. Glad to have you. Alright. Yes. Isabella.
And that is welcome. Hello, honey. Welcome. One. And she. Hi, girl.
Hello.
Okay, we are going to, email to.
Welcome one.
Yeah, welcome one. Sophia's mom too, so just wait a little bit, honey. I will, send an email to Sophia's mom to get Sophia's in here. Let's wait. Not too early.
Oh, sorry. I should explain while I'm doing it. The link is here. If you have to send the link, you click on this one.
Harry's mom. Harry's mom, yes. Where's Other? Other is coming in, honey. Wait. I have to look for Harry's. Oh, would you just wait here? Meet Harry.
I sent the email to. Who has the email? I sent it to YJ. I think it's 728. Delicious Kiwi.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you, Delicious Kiwi, right?
Who is delicious kiwi?
She's Delicious Kiwi.
Oh, you are delicious kiwi.
And A.
Yes.
And phone number. I don't know who's supposed to be here.
That is. Who's that?
Sophia.
Sophia. Okay, Sophia is here. Oh. Okay, I will make
Hi,
a phone call.
Sophia.
Harry's mom.
Hello,
Okay.
Sophia. Welcome.
Okay, Sophia. Hi. So everybody get your NG book, honey. Get your NG book. Sophia, do you have NG too? NG two.
Ba 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 ba. All right. Got 3 people so far. Let me mark this down. I have to take attendance, so make sure you say when you are here. Make sure you tell me so I can take your attendance. Gio, Alvin, Marie. Anybody else? Anybody else? We have 5 people watching this. Who are my lurkers here? Where are my other 2 people watching? Come say hello. Come say hello. Don't be shy. I have to take attendance. So make sure you say hello. Alright? Who's this? Oh, that's Anthony.
Teacher,
Anthony is here. Yes.
Harry is just on a hangout. Can we invite her on a hangout to come here? Right?
On a hangout?
Yeah, she's on a hangout now, but she cannot open the email because.
Cannot open the email? What? So tell her, okay. So she has to go, you can say what this, it's just this link, CRUESYI-TS meet.google.
그러면 저희가 링크를 어머님 저기 사진을 찍어서 보내줄 테니까 이걸로 찍어서 혹시 들어올 수 있냐고 물어봐 주실래요? 네, 이거 한번 찍어서 보내봐 드릴게요. 네.
Alright, I'm back again. Back again. Anthony. Anthony is here. I've got in Anthony's homework. He sent it to me last night, as well as Marie's homework. Just sent it to me today. I've got no other homeworks though. Has anybody else sent me your homework, but I didn't see it? Have you? No, nobody else has sent me a homework. Anthony, you sent me your homework right at midnight. Cutting it a little bit close. Didn't check your grammar mistakes on the first one. Oh right. Great. Guys did nice. Nice. Alright. But everybody else that did not get your homework, you should have done your homework. Why didn't you do your homework? I can't believe it. Who else is here? We have 5 people, but only 4 people said hello. Who's my 5th person? Where's my lurker? And where are my other students? We've got more students coming today. Where are they? Why are people always late to this class? So many late students. Late students. Late question. Okay. Where are my other students? Hold on. Alright. So if you remember, are we using that Google FaceTime thing? No, we're using this one today. We're doing YouTube today. Some of you did the Google FaceTime thing the other day. That was cool. It's nice to hear your voices. But today the G5 class is using the Google Hangout, the Google Meet on the other class, and on this class we're using YouTube. Yeah. Alright. So where's my other student? Make sure you say hello. 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 Alright. So you guys didn't all do your homework. Let's talk about it a little bit. Let's have a little discussion while we're waiting for everyone to join. Your homework was writing about parents and internet security, right? Your question was to write about should parents, what was the word I used? Should parents control or track? I say use track. Should parents track what their kids see on the internet, right? remember your homework assignment was to write about whether or not parents should track what their kids do on the internet. Okay. Make sure you do your homework. A lot of people didn't even do last week's homework either. So much trouble. Okay. So much trouble. Great, so we were talking about whether parents should track what their kids do on the internet. Let's see. Anthony said that no. And what did Marie say? Marie said yes. Okay. So we have some no and some yes. We have some different opinions. Okay. Let's get some argument done in the chat while we're waiting for other people to join. I want you guys to do some writing. Okay. Let's do something related. Something related. Okay. Start. Where are your classmates? Where is everybody? Where's everybody else? Okay. Maybe they're finishing their homework. Okay. They could be finishing their homework. Okay. It's likely. Okay. 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 Okay, so here, let's get another question going while some other people are still joining the class. Waiting for a couple more people. Answer my question while we're waiting to use SNS. What age do you think kids should be allowed to use SNS? What kind of SNS do you use? Uh-oh.
Because the book is just changed, so students have the different version of the books. I will scan it, and can you send an email to them that they let them open it, please? I will scan it first.
Okay. Alright guys, answer my question. Make sure you answer my question. I want audience participation today. To write something. I want you guys to write a lot. The more you write, the better, as long as you're not spamming the chat. Whose else homework do I have? It's nice to see homework. I like when you guys write things. Alright, after all that time, Anthony sends me 10. Okay, you didn't say do you use SNS. What age do you think kids should be allowed to use SNS? You think kids should be allowed to use SNS at 10? That's so young. Really? You think that like all kids should be able to go like at 10 years old and have like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter or TikTok and just like post pictures and like write to people and send messages to people and get messages from people when they're 10? Really? Tell me why 10? Alright, I just got a message, okay? I do not use SNS. I think in about middle school, kids should be allowed to use SNS. Okay, middle school, okay. Sure. Why middle school? I got SNS when I was in middle school, when I was actually almost high school, when I was 14 years old. I was 13 years old. That's when I first got SNS. I was 13 years old. I had to hide it from my mom. My mom didn't want me to have it. I could only use it at the computer in the library. I didn't do it on the computer at home. I was sneaky. I didn't tell my mom. But yes. Okay, tell me why 10? Why middle school? Right? We have to think about that. I want to see some answers from everybody. Anthony, does it take you 5 minutes to send why 10? Let's start with this. Let's be a little more specific. What are some dangers of kids using SNS? After the special teacher.
빨리 얘기해봐. 스토리타임 할까? 아니면 지금 이거 페이지가 여러 장이라도 보내줄까? 얘들 빨리 꺼내봐. I told them you know get the 스토리타임. 빨리 찾아봐. 스토리타임 꺼내줘. 고마워 얘들아. Thank you for cooperation here.
I want to see some answers. Send some answers. You guys are talkative during class, and then when it comes to online class, are you listening? Are you answering? I want to see some thoughts. I want some people to send your thoughts. Tell me what you think about it, okay? We're having a discussion first. We're starting today with a discussion. Starting with a discussion today. So you have to send your answers. Yeah, I know you guys are faster typers than this. You can answer the question. Let's type fast. Tell me. Kids can watch rated R stuff by accident. Alright, so if kids use SNS, they might be exposed to adult content, some ideas or things that maybe would be bad for them to see, stuff that we wouldn't want them to see. Alright, kids can watch, kids can see stuff that might be bad, maybe violent stuff like that. Right, that's part of it. Good. What else? What else? What other problems? Oops. There's a good point. Tell me more. Tell me some other points. What else could happen? What other bad things could happen from kids using SNS? But this is a participation class, okay? You need to answer. Alright? Gio, Marie, Alvin, type some answers. Tell me what you think. I want you guys to be typing. Discussion class. We're going to start with a discussion. You guys have to practice your typing skills. Are you guys really slow typers? Are you guys really slow typers? I want to hear what people think. What are some dangers of kids using SNS? What bad things can happen? Alright. I think in about 15 years old, kids should be allowed to do SNS because most sites don't need parents permission for 15-year-olds. Alright? Good. Okay. We would say most sites don't need parents. Say permission for 15-year-olds. Okay. Correction. Alright. Like that. Okay, that's another good point. Okay. Right? You think about on SNS, it's called social networking sites where people meet each other on SNS. Right? People are talking to other people. Right? That's one danger of it. The kids can meet bad people, dangerous people, and kidnap you or do bad things, can kill you, right? Meeting people like that. It can be, you think maybe people aren't mature enough, right? They might say things and they can't take responsibility for it, right? Sometimes kids can be mean to each other on SNS, and we don't want that power going to kids that young, right? Being able to hurt people on the internet. Also, kids put pictures of themselves on the internet, and then it's there forever. You get old and they think, oh, I wish I didn't put that picture up, and now it's on the internet and you can't take it down. It's copied somewhere else and it's there forever, or something that you said is there forever. You have to have that responsibility. So a lot of times adults want the kids to be older so that they can have the responsibility of posting things that other people can see, saying things that everybody can see and can be saved forever on the internet, right? That's one thing. Somebody could be, 13 years old and say something on Twitter, maybe something really mean or just something dumb, and then that person is 20 years old and they apply for a job, and the copy of their tweet somewhere, and the company sees their old tweet when they were 13 and says, oh, like, this is bad, like, you don't seem like a good person, and then not hire you. That happens. That does happen, where kids will say stuff on the internet, and then later, even if they change, it's copied there forever on the internet. So you have a lot of responsibility when you are talking on SNS, and other people can see it, and it can be saved forever, right? It can be saved forever. Some places like where you can't delete it because someone else copied it, someone screenshotted it. Someone screenshot, and then it's there forever, right? So you have to be really careful about that. You have to think about the responsibility of what you say and what you post might be there forever, right? There's also dangerous things on the internet. There are some evil people on the internet who can kidnap kids, right? Steal kids, or steal money, or meet you and then hurt you, right? Stuff like that happens. Okay, to be careful like that. It's not just things like, oh, parents don't want you to see R-rated things. It's more complicated than that. There's really dangerous things there. Okay, we're gonna come back to this later. We'll come back to that. That's it. Oh, Amy's here. Hello, Amy. Great. How many people are here now? There's 6 people. Who is our 6th person? We have another person. Who's the next person? Hello. Maybe we have one more discussion question. Okay. But I want everybody to answer this. People are typing so slowly. Let's get typing together. Tell me one possible good thing about kids using SNS. Everyone. Alright, tell me something good. What could be a good thing about kids all using SNS? Or not all kids, but what could be a good thing? Right? Why could it be a positive thing for kids to use SNS? We talked about just now the bad things, the possible bad things about kids using SNS, the dangerous things, the hurtful things, and having the responsibility, things like that. But what's one good thing? What's a good thing that can happen with kids using SNS? Great, they can make new friends on SNS. That's a really good point, right? I made a lot of friends on SNS when I was young, when I was in high school, met a lot of people on SNS, things like that. Even now, sometimes I meet interesting people on SNS. I've made some, even now I make friends on SNS sometimes. You normally, like in school, you only see people who you go to school with, right? There's a very small group in SNS. You can meet lots and lots of different people who see this, who maybe are similar to you or are really interesting in different ways, or people you would never meet in school, things like that. But you might have something in common, so you see each other on Instagram or something, you send a message, then you become friends. That can happen. You can meet different people. That can be good for growth. It can be healthy socially. What else? What are some other good things about kids using SNS? Anything else? We see they can meet people, they can make new friends and experience different people. Those are great points. Let's hear some more. Let's hear some more. What are some other good things, possible good things, potential good things about kids using SNS? And if you already said one, you can tell me another one. Okay, Alvin and Marie, you can tell me a second one. Okay. I want this to be a very participatory class. I want people to be posting and sharing a lot here. Because otherwise it's just you listening, and that's no fun. It's not fun for me either. I like it when you guys talk a lot in the chat. It makes class more interesting, and we all learn more. We all understand each other more. Okay. I want you guys to be typing more. Practice your typing. So you can tell me a second thing, or tell me one. Everybody has to share something. What's a good thing about kids using SNS? Okay. Anthony, Amy, Gio. Tell me something good. Are you guys slow typers? Alvin and Marie replied so quickly. So I know you guys can type quickly. I know that you know how to type. I know that you guys are fast typers. So why does it take so long to answer sometimes? Can you not think of any other good things? Only one good thing is making new friends and meeting different people. That's it. There's one good thing. Just one. Come on. Let's get some more answers. What else is good about people using SNS? What could be another good thing? Tell me. And then get into it. But you guys have to, I want more answers. My third graders send more things. My third graders are fast typers, send more opinions. I got a second one from Marie. Kids could learn how to revise pictures. Good. Revise can be do you mean like photo editing, like edit pictures, to change pictures? Yeah, there's definitely the artistic skills in that, right? Changing the pictures and things like that. It's like art practice and things like that. It could be definitely an important part of that. Kids can make an appointment with their friends easily. Good. They can make plans with their friends. We wouldn't say appointment. We usually say appointment for things like doctors and stuff like that. You make an appointment with your doctor. With your friends, we say plans. Kids can make plans with their friends easily. Yes, definitely. That makes it a lot easier. You don't have to call one person, call another person. You just send out a group chat message and everybody's on the same page, right? Related to that, there's more, right? If you're in a group chat and that appointment, you can also talk about things with your friends, right? Communication can be important, right? People on social media talk about important ideas, and people talk about important ideas. People learn a lot from social media, right? People share all their different opinions, even if it's not your friends. It can be people you disagree with too. People share their opinions. We can learn about how other people think. You can learn a lot about other people's ideas, about politics, about culture and society. But exactly, great, right? Amy's answering exactly what I was talking about. Right? Kids can easily learn about problems in society and scrap-related articles. Scrap-related articles? I'm not sure what you mean by scrap. Share related articles. They share related articles, right? That's a really good point. That's what I was talking about, right? Kids can easily learn about problems in society and share related articles. There's a lot of that happening on social media. I think it's one of the most important parts of social media, that kids are seeing so many different viewpoints. And it's not just kids. Adults use social media too. that everybody is seeing each other's viewpoints, and we can learn a lot about what other people think. We can learn about things we don't learn in school. We can see problems in society. People on the internet are talking about the economy, talking about society, talking about art and feminism and war and all these different things, all these important ideas that are going around the world, and you can learn about different cultures, different people, and different societies. You can read articles that you wouldn't see in the newspaper, all these different things, right? So you guys are giving me some really good ideas here. I'd like to see some more. I'd like to see more ideas, but I think that's a good start for now. It's a good start for now. Okay, we're gonna build on that into your homework. That's going to be related to your homework. Before we get there, we're going to get into our book a little bit. Okay, we're gonna do some reading practice, some reading things. Okay, Gio, I'd like an answer from you. You haven't answered anything yet, Gio. I would like to see some opinions on this. Okay, everybody, LAT 176. Let's go to LAT 176. Okay. LAT 176. Okay. LAT 176. Okay. Let's all go to LAT 176. Okay. So we're doing some organizing of reading here. Now we've done a lot of organizing of writing, right? Organizing your details for your main ideas. You've done that before. Now we're doing it backwards. We're taking the main idea and then we're separating out the different sentences and organizing them into the details, right? So for example, we can look at here. Here's paragraph 1. Okay, let's look at paragraph 1. I'll read this for you. Okay, in high school, kids need some news to write essays. Yes, that's true. In high school, kids need news to write essays. You can read the news without SNS. And there is also newspaper websites, news TV, and real newspapers, and news magazines and stuff. But then we can in the SNS, we can read lots of different news that we can't normally see. We have what we call independent journalists, right? People who don't work for big companies also share news. Kids scrap the news? What do you mean scrap the news? So oh, like make a scrapbook. Ah, you mean like make a scrapbook. Okay, we wouldn't say scrap like that. Okay. Right? You can scrap something, but it means like you throw something away. Like maybe you like scrap a first draft. I write the first draft of a paper, but it wasn't good, so I scrap it. I throw it away. Or I paint a picture, but I don't like the picture I painted. I scrap the painting. You can make an idea. Make the idea. The idea wasn't good, You say the plan and your friends are like, that's a bad plan, so you scrap the plan, you get rid of it. It's like, throw it away, okay? Okay, so right, we were reading here about icebergs. I'll read this paragraph. Please read along with me. We're going to read this here, okay? Icebergs are huge chunks of ice and rock. They float like ice cubes in a glass of water. Some icebergs are as large as ships. Others are larger than the state of Delaware. Only 10% of an iceberg sticks up above the water. The rest of it is hidden beneath the water's surface. Okay? So here in this paragraph, I'll do this one for you. Right? Our main idea we know is icebergs are huge chunks of ice and rock. Right? This is our main idea here. That should be pretty obvious. Right? This is your main idea here. Icebergs are huge chunks of ice and rock. Now, we have 5 sentences here, right? They float like ice cubes in a glass of water. 1. Some icebergs are as large as ships. 2. Others are larger than the state of Delaware. 3. Only 10% of the iceberg sticks up above the water. 4. The rest of it is hidden beneath the water surface. 5. We have 5 sentences, but there are only 3 details. Okay. So you might be thinking, well, do we have 2 extra sentences? Is that what's happening? The answer is no. We don't have 2 extra sentences. We can just separate, we can organize these. For 2 of these details, there are 2 sentences, and for 1 of these details, there's just 1 sentence. Alright? So the first one is about floating. Right? It's talking about some imagery. It's a comparison. Oh, didn't draw that line very straight. Hard to do. Okay. Some imagery, a comparison, right? A simile. They float like ice cubes in a glass of water. That's one idea. The icebergs are the largest ships, not connected. This is a simile about ice floating. Okay. Here, icebergs are as large as ships. Others are larger than the state of Delaware. Okay. We have 2 sentences there about the size. Okay. So these 2 are the same detail. Okay. These are the same detail. We're talking about the size, so they go together. Make sense? Now, only 10% of the iceberg sticks up above the water. Okay, what they're saying there, right? Like an iceberg in the water, only the top 10% sticks up, the rest of it is underwater. Okay? Okay. The rest of it hidden beneath the water surface, right? This is 2 sentences, but it's one idea together. Only 10% of an iceberg sticks up above the water, the rest of it is hidden beneath the water surface. That is one idea together. Okay? So these are our 3 details. We have 3 details here, right? I'm just going to use the colors so that you can see. Oh, no, wrong one. Right. You can see here that our details here are more than 1 sentence. Okay, well, this first one is just 1 sentence. It's one idea talking about how it floats. These 2 sentences go together. They're both talking about size. These 4th and 5th sentences here go together. We're talking about the iceberg sticking up above the water, right? Okay. This is what we mean by organizing the details. We understand which ideas are connected and which ones are not connected. Really important skill to do. Okay. Let's go into this next part. Icebergs break off from enormous, slow-moving rivers of ice called glaciers. A glacier is made of snow that hardens into solid ice. The force of gravity pulls the ice downward from higher land. Glaciers flow from mountains to the sea, where pieces break off to form icebergs. The icebergs are driven by wind and water currents out into the open sea. Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences here. Okay, so 1 is the main idea with details. 2 details are 1 sentence. 1 of the details is 2 sentences. Okay, let's start with the main idea. Okay, what is the main idea of this paragraph? Who can tell me what is the main idea of this paragraph? Who can tell me what is the main idea of the second paragraph? What should I write here? It's the same colors. What should I write here in the main idea? Answer the question. Answer the question. I know you guys can type fast. I know you guys can type fast. It's a skull. Oof. You steal running late, you steal. Alright, let me write down the attendance. You steal. Alright, Alvin's got an answer. Icebergs break off from enormous, slow-moving rivers of ice called glaciers. Alright, great. So, we finally have our main idea sentence here. Icebergs break off from enormous, slow-moving rivers of ice called glaciers. Right? This is our main idea here. It's the first sentence of the paragraph. The main idea is often the first sentence of the paragraph. It's not always. But we know that this is the big idea here. This is what everything here is about. Everything here is about where icebergs come from. Where do they come from? They break off from enormous slow-moving rivers of ice called glaciers. Okay? So here we have our purple line. Alright? So now we have to make a choice in our details. We have to make a choice in our details. We have a glacier is made of snow that hardens into solid ice. The force of gravity pulls the ice downward from higher land. Glaciers flow from mountains to the sea, where pieces break off to form icebergs. The icebergs are driven by wind and water currents out into the open sea. Okay? Here's the problem. We have 4 sentences. Okay. I'll do correct. Okay. We now our problem is that we have 4 sentences, meaning only 3 details. Therefore, one detail is 2 sentences together. Which 2 sentences together can we put together? which two sentences can we put together? Sentence 1 and sentence 2, sentence 2 and sentence 3, or sentence 3 and sentence 4? Which two can we put together? Do these go together here? Glaciers made of snow that hardens and solid ice. The force of gravity pulls the snow down from higher land. Glaciers flow from mountains to the sea. Alvin says sentences 3 and 4. And we have glaciers flow from the mountain to the sea where pieces break off to form iceberg. Icebergs are driven by water and wind currents out into the open sea. Any other opinions? Anyone else have any other opinions? Anyone else have other opinions? Any other opinions? Any other opinions? Okay, Alvin's the only one giving me opinions here on this one. Thank you, Alvin, for answering my questions. I appreciate them. Okay, so let's think about it. Let's think about our processes here. We have a glacier is made from snow that hardens into solid ice. That's describing what glaciers are made out of. We have the force of gravity pulls the ice downward from higher land. So we have the ice moving down from higher land. Okay, pulling down from higher land. We have glaciers flow from mountains to the sea where pieces break off to form icebergs. So coming down from the mountains to the sea, it breaks into icebergs. And then last, the icebergs are driven by water and wind currents out into the open sea. Okay. So here we have what is a glacier made out of? Glaciers moving down from high to low from gravity. And here glaciers are moving down from mountains to the sea from gravity, and it breaks off. And then here the wind and water currents into the open sea. Okay. Maybe you guys are seeing here, I don't want to take too much time on this, so I'm going to, maybe you heard from that last explanation, but sentences 2 and 3 go together. That's a good guess, Alvin, because they're both, sentences 3 and 4 are both kind of about moving, the process of the glaciers moving. But here, these both are talking about going from higher land and from mountains to the sea. This is kind of the same idea. Right, this is gravity is doing both of these processes. Right, gravity is pulling it down, and here's just more explanation. Right, from mountains to the sea. Right, this is all gravity here, and it breaks off. Here, the wind and water currents is a different idea. Right? Wind and water currents. This is not gravity. That's something else. Okay, so we have our three ideas there. Okay, you can put sentences 2 and 3 together because these are both from gravity pulling it down. Right, pulling it down from higher land, then it flows from the mountain to the sea. This is all one process together. Okay, so we have to, it's kind of like doing a puzzle in a way. We have to think about that while we're reading. Think about how information is organized, and we should think like that while we're writing also. Okay, so for now, it's 6:57. We're going to have 10-minute break time. 10-minute break until 7:07. Okay. And then I'll see you all after break time. Alright? Break time. We will continue after break time.
People do. When even people, people's heart stop, then we can do what? Hmm? If people's heart is stopped, then what can we do? How many students there?
Mm, you still joined late, so 5.
Gio,
Just 5.
Alvin, Marie, Anthony.
Oh, Amy's here too.
Hmm?
She joined late also. 6.
Okay.
근데 제가 한 번 그때 그 당시 제가 11살에 도착했으니까 3시간이 걸렸어요. 상황에서 피 쓰는 게. 그래서 그때 다 열 정도에 숙제를 해야 돼가지고
Hello, hello, hello. I'm back. I'm back. Everyone back from break time. Do you go tomorrow? What do you mean? Oh, the 6 hour makeup class? I was joking. That's not real. That was a joke. There's no 6 hour makeup class. I was just joking. Sorry. I'm not sure what the situation is with that. If you missed class, if there's a makeup class, I'm not sure. You'll have to ask Michelle teacher about them. I'm not sure. But there is not a 6 hour makeup class. That was just a joke. Is everyone back from break? Let me type that as everyone back from break. Who else is back? Alright, we're gonna do some more reading, doing some more understanding, ideas. Eustiel's back, Marie's back, Alvin's back. Where is Anthony Angio? Where are ya? Where ya at? Where y'all at? Tell me that you're back so I can start class. Please, please, please. Yes, here, yep. Anthony and Gio, where are you? Anthony is here. Gio, where are you? ¿Dónde estás? ¿Dónde estás? Hi. Wo bist du? Nitzanar. Where are you? Oh! What'd you call me? Alright, Daniel's here too. Daniel's here, Gio's here. We got 7 people here. Anybody else? Any other lurkers? We got 8 people watching the stream. Again, there's one person who hasn't said anything. Who is our 8th person? You need to say something. Okay? Who else is here? Say something. Please. Alright, let's get back into this. Alright, so we were doing some reading, and we were separating our paragraph into details. Okay? Let's take a look. Here we've got another example. Let's look at this example, and we see 2 paragraphs. Why am I doing that? We see 2 paragraphs, and then we're going to figure out what is the main idea and what are the details. Alright, so we have the main idea and the details. Okay. Main idea and the details. Let's read this and then let's find out what are the main ideas, what are the details. Okay. Several years ago, my family and I took a vacation to see all 5 of the Great Lakes. Read along with me, okay? Everybody read along with me. Everybody read along with me. On that trip, park rangers at the state park told us the Great Lakes were formed when glaciers melted. Since then, I have been very interested in learning more about glaciers. I have read several books about the Ice Age. The last time North America was covered with glaciers. We even watched a movie about glaciers at one of my birthday parties. I love to learn about glaciers, so I decided to write my book review on a fabulous nonfiction book about glaciers titled Glacier Movement by T.E. Smith. This is very interesting. Whoever wrote this, very interesting. This person really is obsessed with glaciers. That seems like such a random thing to be obsessed with. I don't mean to be negative. I mean, I think that's wonderful. I think it's great that somebody likes glaciers this much. That's very interesting to me that somebody really loves glaciers this much. Okay. So, let's take a look here. Now we have to look at this idea. Here's this paragraph here. And we have to think about how is the information in this paragraph organized. This is different from the last one. It's different because this is a narrative. This is a story, right? This is telling us, this is like a personal essay, okay? So we have to think about what is the main idea of this paragraph. This one was easier because we're just seeing information about icebergs. This one's more difficult because it's a story. Oh my goodness. LAT 177, sorry. LAT 177. Okay, so we have here, right? What is the main idea of this first paragraph? You have to think about what is the big idea here. Think about these details here and what is the biggest point here. What is the author trying to explain? What do the details support? Right? What do the details support here? What is the main idea here? What is happening? What is happening in this paragraph? What's the number one big idea? Right? Think about the details here and think about think about the sentences here and think about what things decide to connect on something. Alright, we have one guess. Anybody else have a guess? Anybody else have an opinion? What point here do all the information support in this story? What is happening? We have two guesses. Who else has a guess? Anybody else have a guess? What does this information all connect to? Alright, we have some information about Went to vacation. The park rangers told us the Great Lakes were from glaciers melting. Since then, I have been interested in learning more about glaciers. I have read several books about the Ice Age. I watched a movie about glaciers. I love to learn about glaciers, so I decided to write my book review on a fabulous nonfiction book about glaciers. Okay. Which of the sentences is a main idea that the other details support? Any other guesses? I want to see some more guesses. Any other guesses? I want to see more guesses, more guesses, more ideas. Who thinks they know, or reasons why they think it's the main idea? Anybody? 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 I'm just waiting. Alright, so I'll just tell you. Alvin is correct. Great job, Alvin. Good job, Alvin. Let me find here, okay? This is our main idea, right? All the information leading up to this is supporting this, right? Right, we go from our details, some information about, right, supporting this that we love to learn about glaciers, so I decided to write a book review. All these details here explain this. These details before this all explain about liking glaciers, deciding to write about glaciers, right? So we see that here. We see that here, this first detail. Our first detail is many sentences stuck together, right? We have a trip, going to vacation to the Great Lakes. Does this sentence by itself support this about learning about glaciers? Several years ago, my family and I took a vacation to see all 5 of the Great Lakes. Does that explain glaciers? No. On that trip, park rangers at a state park told us Great Lakes were formed when glaciers melted. Does that tell us about love glaciers? No. Since then, I've been interested in learning more about glaciers. Ooh, that tells us about loving to learn about glaciers, okay? And these explain that, right? These are small details, minor details about learning more about glaciers, right? Since then, that includes this, okay? So here, okay, here's our first detail. We have one big idea altogether, right? Especially this one is the most important one, right? That last sentence. Okay, and we have this one about reading books, and then that last one about watching a movie. Okay. So you see that, right? Detail 1, 2, 3, and the main idea. Alright? Okay. Now let's look at the second. Okay. Let me read the second one. Everybody read along. The book focuses on how glaciers move. How can a huge block of ice move without something pushing it? According to the book, it pushes itself. A glacier is so deep and heavy that it flows under its own weight. When ice gets more than 50 meters deep, it becomes plastic. It is made up of layers that slide past each other. Friction and pressure also melt some of the ice. This meltwater acts like oil to help the glacier slide. Okay? What is the main idea of the second paragraph? Who can tell me what is the second paragraph? What is the big idea here? What is the big idea? What do the details all explain? Anybody? What's the main idea of this paragraph? What is the purpose of this paragraph? So the book focuses on how glaciers move, kind of. Anybody else? Anybody else? Paragraph number 2. You still also agrees. The book focuses on how glaciers move. Okay? That's half of the main idea. That's only half of the main idea. We have to think about right? We're not so much talking about the book. If our main idea is that the book focuses on how glaciers move, we should expect then that this is about the book. We're not talking about books, we're talking about glaciers, we're talking about ice, right? We're talking about how glaciers move, okay? So it's not so much, our main idea should focus on what is being said, the details are being said all together, what the big idea is together, right? These sentences together constitute, like put together, we can take the main idea out of this, right? Main idea is not exactly said in one sentence here. The main idea here, okay, the main idea is, okay, glaciers move by pushing themselves. Right? That's very good, right? Glacier pushes itself, right? This is the main idea. We're talking about this all together, right? Here we're using things like pronouns or it, and we have this rhetorical question, things like this, right? The main idea is not just one sentence here. In lower levels, you can often just do that. You can just pick one sentence and say, this sentence is the main idea. And here it was true. The main idea is only one sentence. Here it was also true. The main idea was just one sentence. But as we get into more complex writing, we have more things like this, where it's not just one sentence that's the main idea. We have to read the whole paragraph and understand what is the big idea that our details are explaining. Okay? We have to understand all together what are these details explaining here. They're all explaining together that glaciers move by pushing themselves. Right? This is the big idea together. The sentence I wrote. Okay? Then we say like implied main idea. It's not just one sentence in the paragraph. Okay? More advanced writing. Okay, so now we have 6 sentences. We have 6 sentences. We have to think, what are these other 3 details? How do they go together? Or is it just 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 5 sentences. Yeah, 5 sentences more. Okay, it's hard to ask that kind of question, so let me just explain. Let me explain how this is organized, right? So you have a glacier is so deep and heavy, it flows under its own weight. When ice gets more than 50 meters deep, it becomes plastic. This one's easy. We know these two sentences go together, right? We're talking about when it's deep and heavy, and here we're talking about it's deep, right? This is the same idea together. A glacier is so deep and heavy that it flows under its own weight, and we have continued there the detail, right? 50 meters deep, it becomes plastic. We're taking the general and going specific, right? This is the same idea. This is just a little bit more detail, okay? Switch colors. It is made up of layers that slide past each other. Friction and pressure also melt some of the ice. The melt water acts like oil to help glacier slide. Oh, we can definitely tell that these two go together. But you see here, this also means we have, or it doesn't always mean, okay, I shouldn't tell you that. Also often means that we're moving on to the next one. But here we melt some of the ice, and here we're talking about this melt water. So we know these two sentences go together. Friction and pressure also melt some of the ice. This melt water that comes from this melting, acts like oil to help keep the glacier slide. So this is another detail. Okay. And this is the last one. It's made of layers that slide past each other. Okay. So we can see here, look for these kind of things, what goes together. Right? We're talking about deep and heavy, we're talking about deep, right? This is all one idea. Friction and pressure melt some of the ice. This melt water, okay, this is one idea together, right? Be attuned, pay attention to those kinds of details, all right? Okay, skip. No, maybe not skip. Let's see. Okay, word choice. Word choice is important. Vivid word. Actually, you guys definitely need this. This is important to you guys, okay? Vivid words. Vivid means it shows very clearly. Sensory details, right? We have 5 senses. Actually, that's not true. We have like 7 senses. Okay, what are the 5 sentences that we have? I'm not going to ask you because everybody knows. Our major 5, right? Touch, sight, hearing, smelling, and taste. We also have other ones. We have like acceleration, kinetic motion, and spatial positioning. We have like seven senses technically, or more if you believe in ghosts and we can sense ghosts. But like I was saying here, these sensory details apply to these words. Things that we are seeing, tasting, smelling, hearing, feeling, things like that, okay? Or vivid words, right? Words that really help us picture imagery, right? So we have these ones, large bite. Is that really a vivid word? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say this is wrong. That's a low bar. Whoever wrote this textbook, I disagree with you. Sorry. Okay, here, large bite. How is that vivid? Okay, you be a little more imaginative. Here, munching contentedly. Oh, that's nice. Munching is like kind of like a messy way of eating. Contentedly is like in a satisfied, happy way, right? So, like you can picture it in your head, like munching contentedly. This baby, Charlotte's a baby, a human baby, is eating this cookie and munching contentedly. Okay, tell me some other vivid sensory words in here. Well, this is LAT 182. LAT 182. What other vivid sensory words do you see here? I should say words and phrases. Let's get some answers. What other vivid senses and words do you see here? Cross out large bite. Large bite. How is that vivid? I guess it's better than just saying bite. Bite is less vivid. Large bite is, I guess, technically more vivid. A little more information, but not good. It's not particularly vivid. Alright, tell me what other things do we see? Anyone? There's 3 obvious ones, I think. I think 3 of them are obvious. The other ones are kind of disputable. I don't know if I agree with some other ones, but there's at least 3 obvious ones. Sticky and I'm Daniel. Daniel is Sticky. Why are you Sticky, Daniel? Oh, you just switched accounts. Okay. Sticky. Where's Sticky? Sticky. Well, Sticky. I mean, yes. We can be a little more specific here, right? This like exude sticky lumps, right? Here's one. Exude sticky lumps. Stared at Charlotte in dismay. Nice. It's not just sad, right? Stared at Charlotte in dismay. Dismay is like totally like sad, like disappointed in a certain way. Hard? Cookies were hard? I don't know, maybe. If you used hard and crumbs together, I can picture, it would be better to say something like brittle. Brittle means things that are like hard and break easily. Usually we say like things that like dried things are brittle. Potato chips are brittle. Dragonfly wings are brittle, right? They're kind of like rice paper, brittle. Things that can break easily. Oozed, alright? We have oozed, nice. Like, I would even say together, like something red and syrupy. Syrupy oozed, this adjective with the verb together. Good, right? The ooze. I like that word. Ooze, like when you squeeze something soft. Yuck. What else? We got a few more. Got a few more. Squashed. Thank you for the all caps. I like that. Squashed. Right. Even better is altogether this phrase, squashed in her tiny fists. So not only is it squashed, but it's squashed in her tiny fists. We can really picture that. A baby's little fists squishing pieces of a cookie, right? I think that's all of the major ones. Those are the best ones. Okay. Those are the strongest ones. Nothing else here is very strong feeling. Yeah. Alright. That's like everything. Alright, good. So, what we're going to talk about now, right? Persuasive letter. We're going to talk. I'm going to switch colors. Let's do mint. Nice color. Red stuff. I would say no. I would say not red stuff. Red stuff is the opposite of vivid or sensory. I mean, red is technically sensory. Red is technically sensory, but we can't really picture it. If I say, okay, I went to the kitchen and saw some red stuff. If you say that, I'll be like, what are you talking about? Are you talking about apples? A stop sign? What is red stuff? Right? Jam? Right? I can't really picture red stuff. It's not vivid, right? Okay. Intolerable to Alvin. Intolerable. Intolerable is not vivid. It's not sensory. Intolerable is descriptive. I think it's a good word to use. It's quite descriptive so we understand. Like, it's not okay. Like, the thought of failure was intolerable. But it's not really vivid or sensory, right? It's not something we can see or directly sense in that way, okay? Hello. Sean is here, right on time. 10 minutes before our class finishes, you're here. All right, you're here in time for us to read our example, and then you'll get your homework assignment from us. All right. So we're on to this last part, persuasive letter. You guys probably know what persuasive means. We've talked about it before. Persuasive means change my mind. Okay. Change my mind. Persuasive means change my mind. Okay. So we're writing a letter to change my mind. I came back from the death. What did I miss? Please, please, what did I miss? I'm back from the death. The year is 2056. The year is 2056. Environmental crisis has destroyed 70% of Earth's civilization. British spelling, Z. Civilization. Living are now all laying in a hospital in South Sudan. Our brains are connected to a in a coma. Brains are connected to a computer. No. Signals. Giving us illusion resistant in 2020. Okay. Alright, anyway. So, we are talking here about persuasive letters. This is going to be your homework. You have to change our mind. So, you're going to be writing it to me. You're going to have to change my mind. No, maybe you'll be writing it to your parents, okay? But not actually sending it to your parents, right? Let's look at this example here. Persuasive letter. Persuasive letters are very, very common. It's a very important style of writing. We're writing to people to change their minds. You can be writing to the government. You can be writing to your teacher. That's me. You could be writing to your other teachers. You could be writing to your parents. You could be writing to a friend. You could be writing to a university. You could be writing to many, many, many different people, right? Anyone that you want to change their mind, anytime you want something, you write persuasive emails, right? Okay. So, here, let me read this. I want you guys to read along too. Okay. Dear Mom, I believe that we should hang a bird feeder on our enormous elm tree and put a decorative bird bath in our yard. A bird bath is like, it's like a little like fountain thing. It's like a little fountain thing, and then like it's full of water, and then like the birds come, and eat and drink the water. That looks like a very sad bird. Anyway, okay. Bird bath in our yard. First of all, think of how much joy birds can bring into our lives. They sing sweetly and fill the air with their beautiful melodies. The morning would be much more pleasurable waking up to the enjoyable sounds of cardinals, chickadees, and sparrows. Birds are colorful and the sight of them right outside our window would be terrific. Birds need water for drinking and washing themselves. The bird bath will be a perfect location for all birds, many of which feast on flies and mosquitoes. That means they gobble up those pesky insects that buzz around and ruin many outdoor activities. We should welcome these feathered friends to our yard. Okay? So this is very nice here. Well, I mean, okay, it's not very nice, but it's nice, it's okay. It's some decent persuasive writing. I think you guys can do better, I'm hoping. Okay, I expect hard work from you guys, so you can do better than this. We think about what is this person's purpose in writing this. We know that we want a bird feeder and a decorative bird bath. Okay, so food for food for birds, and a bath for the birds, and they give reasons for it. All right. Sensory, vivid words and sensory details. I mean, this is a really important thing here. Things that we can see and hear. That's important. That's important. Vivid words, sensory details. Yes. Should we have you guys find that? Yeah. Okay. Alright, we've got Buzz. Let's find our Buzz. Where is Buzz? Good, buzz around, that's sensory. Nice. Bird bath. Bird bath is the thing that we're looking for. It's a noun. It's not really sensory though. It's not really descriptive. This is like the exact thing that we're talking about. That's the purpose of this. What is this? Ooh, time to type. Enormous. I like this all caps that you're doing. Kind of feels like you guys are like, everybody's so excited here. Hello, I came back from death. I'm back too late. I'm doomed. Bird bath. Enormous. Alright, good. Okay, enormous, right? Yeah, we can kind of picture an enormous elm tree. If they say our elm tree, then we don't know, is it a small elm tree, big elm tree? We don't know. Enormous elm tree, we can picture it. Enormous elm tree is like, here's a person, and then here we have like this like, enormous elm tree. Enormous elm tree. Okay. Gobble up. Good. Gobble up. We can picture that. The way it eats. It's not just like swallow something. It's blah. Colorful. Colorful is maybe a little bit, but it's not really that descriptive. It's like a little bit. But they don't, like, if you say colorful, oh, I saw something colorful. I don't know. Is it red and blue? Is it green and orange? Is it like pink and yellow? I don't really know, right? Colorful is not very directly, it's not vivid. I can't picture colorful because there's too many colors. They have to be a little more specific. Sing sweet. Alright, yeah, sweet is kind of here. Sing sweetly, right? That's like that sensory description. We can hear that, right? It's not singing in a harsh way, singing in a loud, disruptive, angry way. It's a sweet, kind of kind singing of birds in the morning, which I really like. Pesky. Okay, pesky is maybe. It's a nice adjective. I think it's exact, but it's not, I don't know if it's really vivid, right? You don't really see pesky. Maybe you can feel pesky, and it's like there's so many of them. Maybe they should have used it with a second adjective to describe how there's so many birds coming together, or insects coming together, and they're bothering in a certain way. They could be a little more descriptive and vivid there. Okay? I think that'd be good. Anything else here? Any other ones? Remember, it doesn't have to just be about the way things see. Remember that persuasive things can cover lots and lots of different senses, or not persuasive things. Vivid words, sensory details can be all about all different senses, right? The way things smell, the way things taste, the way things look, right? Things like that. Okay? So your homework. This dude wrote the bird names all down. This dude. How do you know it's a dude? This could be a girl or a woman. We don't know it's a dude. Don't assume. Alright. Alright, so your homework here, write a persuasive essay. You have to convince her to take your class on a field trip to a country of your choice. Okay? You pick a country and convince us and convince her. Alright? I know. Just homework. I agree. I agree. I don't think so. But it's your homework assignment. It'll be fun. Okay? Okay, that's it. That's it, everybody. Goodbye, goodbye. Have a good night. Have a good weekend. Study hard. Read some books. Wash your hands. Eat good food. Drink a lot of water. Sleep a lot. I'll see you on Monday. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Good night. So long. Farewell. Adieu, adieu. Auf Wiedersehen. Buenos noches. What else?